Let's today discuss a very famous and celebrated lyric by a great romantic poet William Wordsworth, and the poem's name is Daffodils, which was formerly entitled as I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud and was published in 1807. It was the period of the golden decade for William Wordsworth as he produced some of his most iconic works during 1797 to 1807. Through his personal experience of coming across multiple flowers of daffodils, he shows how nature can be our best companion and it gives us instant joy and happiness for all times to come. So let's now begin and recite the first paragraph of the poem. I wander lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Now look at the first line that draws a beautiful scene of a cloud floating over valleys and hills as the persona opens the poem by his wandering aimlessly someday when all of a sudden he came across a huge number of flowers growing beside the lake, moving here and there in a gentle breeze. Use of simile in the first two lines depict the joyous mood of the speaker, wandering carefully freely like a floating cloud. The poet uses the personification and personifying the flowers. The poet says the flowers as the crowd and calls them a host. The flowers were multiple in numbers and as if inviting him to join their company, just like a host ready to welcome his guests. The second passage again is an elaboration of the scene depicted in the first. Let's now recite it together. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 sigh at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Now, use of simile continues. Just as in the first passage, now flowers are compared to the countless stars in the Milky Way. A comparison has been drawn between the long stretched flowers growing endlessly along the bank of a stream with twinkling stars, thousands and thousands in number on a Milky Way. So the poet says 10,000 sigh at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Now look at these last two lines, which again reiterate the speaker's feelings, and he repeats what he says earlier only to emphasize the scene, the delightful scene. Fluttering and dancing of the flowers in the last line of the first passage and tossing their heads in sprightly dance both lay stress on the dancing of the flowers, the beautiful scene. Now comes the third passage. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. Now comes the dancing shining waves beside the flowers, as again the persona makes a comparison of the flowers with the waves, which too appear to him as if dancing that day. But he is so captivated by the beauty of the flowers, as he says that flowers outdid the sparkling shining waves, that he finds these excelling the waves in joy and happiness. He says, how spellbound he was as he looked at the scene stand still. He gazed and gazed. He is completely connected with the scene and gazes at it without thinking or analyzing its effect on his mind. He calls it the wealth. Yes, it was the wealth of natural beauty spread all around him. The passage again shows his mood. It is because he himself is so happy that day that he interprets nature in the same manner. This is how a unique bond is made between a man and nature. Now comes the final passage where he talks about the unique gift that nature gives. Look at the selection of the words here: lying on the couch and in vacant mood and flashing upon the scene on his mind's eyes. Now let's begin. For oft when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Look how the lines describe the impact of beautiful scene on the speaker's mind and heart. As the scene becomes an integral part of his being, it rests with him for all times to come, spreading its beauty, coming to his memory whenever he is in a pensive or thoughtful mood. He describes his permanent connection with nature. He says, whenever he is lying on his couch, whenever he is in a free mood, free from the worries and anxieties of the world, the scene flashes upon his mind's eyes and again finds his heart filled with pleasure, as if again dancing with the flowers. Just as I am reminded here of another poem by William Wordsworth, and that is The Solitary Reaper. Just as the speaker in the daffodils is enthralled by the music, by the scene of the flowers, in the solitary reaper also, the speaker is mesmerized by the music of the reaper's song, irrespective of the fact what she sang about. He carried the music in his heart for all times to come. Similar effect has been seen here. And I quote from the Solitary Reaper the last four lines from the poem. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. Now let's see how the poem Daffodils incorporates some features of romantic poetry. As we know that romantic poetry is written on incidents and situations from common life, ordinary simple objects and themes. By depicting a very simple scene of nature, just as we have just seen, the poet fills the poem with so much beauty and emotions that the reader himself can feel the magic of nature. As Wordsworth himself says, that poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, an inborn gift and expression of emotions and the poet's imagination. The poem Daffodils is inspired by a wonderful scene that evokes the poet's ideas, emotion, and imagination and appeals to the reader's heart. Here, the poet incorporates his philosophy of emotions recollected in tranquility that establishes his permanent bond with nature. Secondly, romantic poetry is subjective in nature as the individual is placed at the center of art and life in the romantic philosophy. In the Daffodils, the poem is an expression of the poet's feelings and his experience of coming across flowers, which he relates with his own self, which he serves as an inspiration to compose the poem. And the use of various poetic devices, just as we have seen earlier, simile, metaphor, personification, and imagery, depict the natural beauty so simply that the whole scene comes before the reader's eyes and he himself becomes a part of it. Moreover, written in a simple language on a common and ordinary subject matter, the emotional and rhythmical feature of the lyric makes it one of the most pleasurable and remarkable poems by Wordsworth. Thus, the poet gives a common subject an uncommon touch as he shows how nature is a permanent companion to man, how it is a source of joy which is everlasting, how nature soothes our minds and hearts, how nature brings calmness and solace, which the poet calls the bliss of solitude. I hope the interpretation of the poem would create your interest in reading the poem and help you understand the philosophy of a great romantic poet, that is William Wordsworth. So thank you very much for watching this video and being with me. Thank you once again.